Happy New Comic Book Day, everyone. Greg here, John's behind the camera, and as always, it is New Comic Book Day, Wednesday morning, so we are here in Midtown Comics Times Square to give you a close-up look at some of the new releases. And if you see a comic that you really want to get a preview of, just comment. John will see it, he'll let me know, and we'll give you a better look at it. So up first, as always, Dark Horse Comics. We have a new chapter of Conan, Cryptocracy. For all the Metal Gear Solid fans out there, we have a huge collection that looks at the artwork from Metal Gear Solid 5. There's also a new trade, and if you love Firefly, there you go. And also, crossover time, Tarzan on Planet of the Apes. Give you a quick look at this crossover. As you can see, this is the third chapter. And if you have missed out, okay, just credits on the intro, no recap, but I'm sure you can still jump on, and if you are interested, there's only 2 issues before this one, very easy to catch up. Show one more page before we move on. Alright, cool. There's also a new Witchfinder. If you really love the Tomb Raider franchise, there's a huge collection. Archives, Volume 1 from Dark Horse Comics. And then we move into our brand new DC Comics. As you can see, there's a new volume of Aquaman out, a hardcover from his new 52 run. I believe that's Brett Booth's artwork of Aquaman and Mera front and center. And one of the big releases today, Batman Annual #1. John read this yesterday. John, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. It was a really cool collection of short stories talking about basically how you see there. You find out how Ace came to be. You have top talent. You have Tom King. You have Scott Snyder.
Declan Shalvey.
You got Declan. You also have Paul Dini doing a short story in there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a
So if you want your Batman fix this week, this is obviously your go-to comic. It's an annual issue. As you can see here, plenty of creators are involved. It's a little more expensive than your average comic, $4.99, but that's because you're getting so many more pages.
Yeah,
like John said, it's many short stories crammed into one. Let's say you want even more Batman. Brand new volume of Detective Comics came out. New trade. As you can see, great cover there by Francis Manipal. Let's say you want even more Batman. Boom. Brand new hardcover. Volume 9. That's when Gordon was rocking the Batman outfit. If you want to revisit Detective Comics, there you go. And as you can see here, there's also a recollection of some of the older Robin stories. You can see Chuck Dixon. Flip through, give you guys some nostalgia. Classic Nightwing. And Azrael. So then, a lot of trade paperbacks today, as you can see. Brand new Cyborg, Volume 2, Enemy of the State. Marv Wolfman, David Walker. Give you a quick preview of that. Booyah. Alright. For all the people who love to color out there, Green Arrow, adult coloring book. So they have a bunch of artwork, as you can see here. It includes the town of Neil Adams, Amanda Connor, Cliff Chang, Phil Hester, Jack Kirby. I believe Andrea Sorrentino's in here as well. So if you want to make him the Red Arrow, you can do that. Blue Arrow, doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You can make Hal a Red Lantern, although the logo would need to be different. So all these, you can just color and make them your own Jim Lee. If you want, you could even, you know, draw in a goatee for him there. Alright, so that's just a sample of the many great illustrations that you can cover. For all the fans of the Injustice video game franchise, annual issue of Injustice Gods Among Us, Year 5, brand new chapter of JLA, Justice League of America. You know, that's come on, it's the big team up comic for DC, so of course I'm going to give you a quick preview. I'll show one more page. Alright, this is pretty cool. So, DC had classes with top creators to help teach writers and artists out there, and now the students of these classes, they have several stories in this comic, New Talent Showcase #1. And I believe this cover is by Claus Janson, iconic inker. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll flip through here. As you can see, this tells you all about the program and the meaning behind this comic. And up here gives you a recap of what each story is about and who's behind them, the writer and the artist. So keep an eye out for all these creators, obviously. Got a Constantine story, a Wonder Woman story, a Dead Man story, Lanterns, Dead Man, which I already said because I saw him in the beginning. I believe there's also Hawk Girl. There's definitely something, Catwoman, something for everyone in here. Superman, Harley Quinn. Okay, I don't want to give away too much. Check it out. Support the up-and-coming creators. And then, if you like Sinestro, there's a new volume of Colin Bunn and Brad Walker's Sinestro run, Volume 4, Fall of Sinestro. This is a very thick trade. It's only 17 bucks. Well, 18. I mean, there's a lot of issues in here. Surprising amount. Now, I haven't read this whole run, but I did read this part just because I've been trying to do as much Black Adam research as possible, especially since Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's going to play, and that's exciting, man. So that was a fun team up of these two very powerful and arrogant and intellectual characters. But it goes beyond that. You get a lot of new members of the Sinestro Corps, so I don't want to spoil it. There's also a brand new Suicide Squad. I've been showing plenty of previews for DC, so I'll gloss over this, but as you can see, there's this great Lee Bermejo cover of Katana, and this has a backup story with Enchantress. It focuses on her, and the primary story is, it's good fun so far. Everyone, something has happened in Belrev that is making everyone give in to their baser instincts. They want to kill, they want to do other stuff, but Harley Quinn, it's had the reverse effect on her. She's level-headed, and she's completely, I guess you could say, quote-unquote, sane now. So that's new for her, and she's the only person now who could save the Earth. And then there's Superman Annual. This is one that I'm really looking forward to reading. I flipped through it. Gorgeous artwork. Tomasi, Gleason, Jimenez, Sanchez. And Jimenez, he's actually going to be on Super Sons with Tomasi. I am ridiculously excited for that. That's coming out in February. Check that out. I mean, there are just so many pages in here that I just want to stare at, but I won't linger for too long on this. I'll move on. Let's leave it on that note. Definitely buying this. Look forward to reading it. I got some new Hanna-Barbera comics, Wacky Raceland. Then we're out of DC now, but actually, if you look up, as you can see, Rebirth. Let's say you really loved it, or you haven't read where it all started yet. The deluxe edition in black and white and in color. Written by Jeff Johns, a bunch of very talented artists, as you can see, Gary Frank, Ethan Van Sciver, Evan Rice, Phil Jimenez. And there's also Spooky House, new Jughead, Black Mass Studios, No Angel. Fun fact, this is co-created by Mockingbird from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's also a villain in John Wick. Spoiler alert. She was also in G.I. Joe Retaliation, Adrienne Palicki. It's a brand new series from Black Mask Studios. I'll show one more page. Alright. Moving on, as you can see, we also have a new issue of Power Rangers. Now, as we continue to move forward, you'll see there's just a whole lot of, just a whole variety of comics coming out that aren't from the big two. I know people tend to stick primarily to Marvel or DC, but there's a huge variety of comics out there. Vader Sim, Rick and Morty, Tales from the Crypt, Doctor Who. It's just a ridiculous amount of options out there. So don't keep yourself limited to just Marvel and DC. I love both them. Expand your horizons a bit. Check out one of the other publishers. Pick up a new comic that catches your eye. Give it a shot. As you can see, Valiant has released this mega Bloodshot Reborn Deluxe Edition. Great series. Miko Soyan, Jeff Lemire, David Barron. I strongly recommend this. I really enjoyed this title. I don't want to give away too much.
Not sure, but this is on the.
So when people think of Bloodshot, they may think of like crazy stereotypical 90s action, big pouches, big guns. But Jeff Lemire did something very, not that there's anything wrong with that, we all have fun with different stuff. But Jeff Lemire did something very character driven with this. And it's a great, great read. As you can see, we only have one in the store. I may get it. I don't know yet. Maybe. Call to make sure they have it. If not, we probably have some online. We have a reprinting of Britannia, a reprinting of Faith Number 5 with Hillary Clinton on the cover. Moving on, let's avoid politics. There's a brand new issue of Generation Zero, number 4. If you are interested in what Valiant's going to do on the big and small screen, recommend that comic. And also, Savage, number 1. Brand new series from Valiant Comics. So basically, there's this very wealthy couple, famous soccer player, famous model. I guess kind of think of the Beckhams, it seems like. People who have a very, a very good, very high-end lifestyle, if you will. Well, their plane crashes on an island with prehistoric creatures on it, and they are forced to survive and raise a child there. As you can see, this is presumably the child grown up. What happened to the mother and father? I don't know. You're going to have to read to find out. How long did they hold out? Are they still alive? How long can you hold on to your humanity when you're forced to survive like that? So once again, this is a brand new series from Valiant Comics. So if you've never read a Valiant comic before, it doesn't matter. You can just pick this up and enjoy. Then from IDW Publishing, Ghostbusters International. Love this creative team. Eric Burnham, Dan Schoening, Luis Delgado. Let me give you a quick preview, because I know there are a lot of Ghostbusters fans out there. And if you are passionate about this franchise, check out the comics from IDW. They're doing really good stuff. And if you like the original movies, read Mass Hysteria. It's a story arc. Pretty long story arc, actually. I think it has 2 collections or one very big collection. It basically feels like a third movie, like an unofficial third movie. It's great. So if you like the Ghostbusters, you need to be reading this. And the rest of the stuff that IDW has released with Ghostbusters. For the Godzilla fans, Rage Across Time is now collected in a trade. There's also Mask, number 1, from IDW. Mobile Armored Strike Command. Command with a K. Give you a quick preview of this new series. And as you can see, if you have no experience with this, doesn't matter. We tell you everything you need to know. I love it when a book has a very thorough intro page, because that way it can always serve as a jumping on point for anyone. And you don't feel lost. You have some connection to the characters right from the get-go. Alright, moving on. As you can see, there's also a new chapter of Revolution from IDW. There's also a new TMNT Universe. Love what
Actually,
they've
let's preview that. 'Cause somebody asked.
TMT Universe?
Yep.
Whoever asked, you have great taste. Looks like a Freddie Williams cover. Yeah, IDW has been doing an incredible job with this franchise. Sound like a broken record, I'm sure, if you've watched the other videos. It's no secret I really, really adore what IDW has been doing with the Ninja Turtles. And I haven't read this issue yet, but I believe there is a backup. Yep. Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, who's the editor of the comic, Tom Waltz, and he also helps with the story, obviously. But more importantly, layouts by Kevin Eastman and artwork by Bill Sienkiewicz. So let me just skip right to that. Give you a sample of Bill Sienkiewicz working on the Ninja Turtles at Metalhead. Alright. Then there's also the X-Files. And now we get into Image. And before we talk about Image in detail, we're going to go to Vic. The amazing Vic, whose brother is now engaged.
Well,
so congrats to him.
Thanks for mentioning
Yeah,
that.
Sway, congrats.
Yeah.
He is
If
an
he's
employee
watching,
in
you
Midtown
know.
as well.
Yeah. Got Copra round 4 to share this week. This series, if you guys aren't reading this, it's probably one of the best indie books you guys could pick up. It's essentially Suicide Squad without the silliness of the Suicide Squad, without DC silliness. It's written, drawn, edited, and printed all by Michael Fife. He was writing. He did a few books at Marvel at one point. He did All New Ultimates, if I'm not mistaken, for like a small run before it got canceled. The artwork
Yeah,
is
let's give
all
a preview.
the artwork's all done by him. The characters are very much Suicide Squad-esque, very Marvel-esque. There's like the Punisher right there.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will see Deadshot eventually.
Yeah, there's
Is that like Scalp Hunter? Yeah.
this guy looks like Craven, your boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's like Cyborgs, deals with dimensions. All the characters are mainly Hispanic, so that's a plus for me. And it's just the fact that it's
There we go. Not Deadshot.
and then you got a not Deadshot. And the simple fact that it's all done by one guy is what makes me appreciate the series that much more. So Copra, we have the volumes here. This is volume 4 that just came out. You guys got to pick it up. You guys got to
So
read
we
it.
also have 1, 2, and 3.
We do get 1, 2, and 3 in stock occasionally. We should also have it on our website. I can't recommend this book enough. Also, Moon Knight Volume 1 came out
Yes,
this week,
yeah, we're
and
definitely
Vision
gonna look at
Volume
that.
2. Those are by far Marvel's best books I've been reading all year, and I'm really excited to finish both books.
Cool. Speaking of Vision and Batman Annual, Tom King, he's going to be in the store next week,
guys
Midtown
gotta
Comics
meet him.
downtown. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, that's right.
And you met him at the Batman
the Batman
Day signing,
Batman
right?
Day signing, yeah. Great guy, awesome, really receptive if you're a fan of his work. Very humble, really likes to meet his fans. Big fan of Sheriff of Babylon. If you guys aren't reading that, it's a great series. It just ended its first run. It'll be back next year. Guy's doing amazing, right? And he's killing it on Batman right now, so you guys gotta check that out.
Yeah, so he'll be here next Thursday, which is, I believe, December 8th, from 6 to 8, Midtown Comics downtown, 64 Fulton Street. Are you working during that?
I am not, so I might have to go to this one.
So go to the signing, say hi to Vic, talk to him about Tom King's work, talk to him about comics. Just have a good time, man.
Guys,
go
pick
there,
up
have a good
Copra.
time.
You won't be disappointed. I'm dead serious about this book. You guys gotta check it out. And Michael Fife, if you're reading, your book is genius. Or if you're watching, excuse me, for reading. Well, sorry.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right. Vic, thank you very much.
No problem, guys.
All
Take
right,
care.
cool. So now we move into Image Comics, which is why we turned to Vic. He loves a lot of the indie stuff. He just does such a great job recommending it. Last week, he did an awesome job recommending the final issue of Chew. Hopefully, it motivated you, some of you, to check out the series. So let's take a look at what else is out this week. Brand new chapter of Monstrous. Sana Takeda, Marjorie Liu. I believe this is issue 8. Yes, it is issue 8. And as you can see, if you have fallen behind or if you have not picked it up, it doesn't matter. Right from the intro, it tells you everything you need to know. I've seen nothing but love for this book. I am behind on it.
But that's okay, because you have that whole thing you can read.
Yeah. Alright, we'll show one more page. Oh, I'm not sure if we glossed over it, but there's also a new Deadly class. As you can see up here, Arbinger Renegade, number 1. I believe that's a reprint. There's also Romulus number 2, Paper Girls 2, the second trade. Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chang, Matt Wilson on colors, Jared Fletcher on letters. So if you like Why the Last Man, Saga, any of Brian K. Vaughan's work, check out what he's doing on this one. So once again, this is the second trade for Paper Girls. New Romulus, and speaking of Brian K. Vaughan, new chapter of Saga. I'm not even going to flip through that. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. And for all the Rick Remender and Jerome Openna fans out there, got a reprint of 7 to Eternity, number 1 and 2, just in time for issue number 3. And as you can see, there are quite a few other options from Image Comics. And then we move into Marvel. It's a little crowded over here, so I'm going to let John do some close-ups of all the new comics. If you see a comic you would like to have us give a preview of, let us know, and we will do so. Big release for Marvel this week. Ghost Rider number 1. New series with Robbie Reyes, Felipe Smith, who co-created the character. As you can see, there are a lot of cover options, a lot of great stuff. Love this Scotty Young one. Alright, and also the Deadpool Black and Black, nice nod to Kraven's Last Hunt, and that takes place before Kraven's Last Hunt. Very amusing issue, but then again, I'm a Kraven fanboy. Alright, you know what? I'm going to give you a preview of Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, number 1.
Somebody just asked for it.
Yeah, John read this yesterday. John, what did you think about it?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a really cool rendition showing, the whole relationship between Robbie and his brother, and just how the writer comes out is a lot of fun.
As you can see, there are already some cameos. Totally awesome Hulk. And for the X-Men fans out there, there's another cameo at the end of the issue,
which we will not spoil.
Yes. There's also a backup in here illustrated by Tradd Moore, who worked on the original All New Rider. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm doing this to flip ahead to it. Okay. Tradd Moore's artwork. So if you're a fan of Robbie Reyes, his style should look very familiar to you.
Don't go any further, but that's basically...
Don't want to spoil anything.
Mark, you didn't miss him yet. We're not there yet, but we'll get there.
Okay.
They're asking about Star Wars books, and then this Spider-Man with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, someone wants a preview?
Oh, they were asking what exactly it's all about.
Well, let's take a look.
Shall we?
Yeah. As you can see, written by Brian Michael Bendis, illustrated by Kevin McGuire, colored by Richard Eisnov. Did the intro? Okay, so the intro gives you a bit of info on what's going on. I'll show one more page, so I don't want to give away too much. Cameo from Venom Space Knight. Alright. Then there's also a new chapter of Totally Awesome Hulk, number 12. You know what? I'm going to flip through this as well.
Why not?
As you can see, this also involves T'Challa, aka Black Panther. If you did like Black Panther and Civil War, he has a great current ongoing series, and there's also a series which explores his homeland called the World of Wakanda. Alright, and then this is the very big release for Marvel this week. Inhumans versus X-Men 0. This is the follow-up to Death of X. We, of course, will not spoil how that concluded, so we're going to quickly go over this part. But if you haven't read Death of X, know that this front page has you covered. Basic premise, Terrigen mists, which turn people into Inhumans, they are poisonous to mutants. So obviously that's causing a bit of a conflict between the two. But without spoiling anything, Death of X, they reached an agreement. However, it's called Versus, isn't it? So not everything is going to be peaceful and going according to plan.
And not everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Any older issues would be upstairs by now. And then graphic novels.
In case you're ever wondering what it looks like when Beast takes a selfie. Alright, so this is obviously a jumping on point. So if you like Marvel, you're curious about all the big stuff going on in their universe, this is what you should check out. Humans vs. X-Men number 0. And then, speaking of Inhumans, there's also the Uncanny Inhumans, and there's also a new Luke Cage and Iron Fist trade. I believe this is collecting some of their 90s stuff, which, for all the Deadpool fans in there, there are 2 issues where Deadpool works with them. I'll use works in quotes, I guess. So if you're really liking the Netflix stuff, obviously take a look at the history of the Heroes for Hire. Ooh, the Scorpion encountered them. It did not go well for them. It was very brutal. Yeah, see? It's a rough showing for Luke Cage. But he's a tough dude. He'll come back from it, of course. You'll mess with Luke Cage and get whipped, obviously. As you can see, incorporates the Hulk. And I don't want to give away too much, so we'll end it there. Like Vic said before, the brand new Moon Knight series, the first trade is out. Jeff Lemire, Greg Smallwood, Jordi Belair. Different take on Mark Spector, heavy focus on his psychological issues, his multiple personalities, whether or not Khonshu is real. It is definitely a book that'll keep you guessing, I'll say that. It obviously helps if you're familiar with Mark Spector, Moon Knight's history, knowing his supporting characters, but they still do a good job in here introducing you to all the classic supporting characters and people who have played a big part in his life over the years. According to Comic Vine, it's a great time to be a Moon Knight fan. I agree. It's a good run. And I really hope he gets his own Netflix show. Brand new Ms. Marvel, of course, going to preview that. So you've heard great things about Ms. Marvel, you want to check it out once again, you can just pick up this issue and not feel left out. I'll show a few more pages. And there's also Sensational She-Hulk, a mega collection of John Byrne, his work. I know someone asked before about Star Wars, right?
That they did.
Yeah, Star Wars Annual, number 2. Got Princess Leia on the cover. Stormtroopers doing what they do best, not hitting the person they're shooting at. And the opening crawl. So that way, if you haven't been following what Marvel and Disney are doing with these published comics, you don't feel left out. You don't feel like you're in the dark. Show another page. You know, I'm showing one more. Had to. So if you can't wait for Rogue One, just remember Marvel's doing a bunch of great stuff with Star Wars. Also a new hardcover collection, Revenge of the Sith. Speaking of hardcovers, The Mighty Thor. Aaron Dodderman Wilson. If you are interested in Thor, or maybe you're just looking for a great comic, check out Jason Aaron and Asad Ribic's Thor God of Thunder run. That's what kicked off this whole story arc. Everything with the new Thor, you know, it came before this, and it carries over into this. So it's great. Once again, Thor God of Thunder. Check it out if you can find the collections. In my opinion, one of the best modern Marvel runs.
You both came in.
Yes. No Sorrentino, though.
No, yeah.
Sorrentino did the cover.
Yeah.
Old Man Logan, one of my favorite titles, especially for Marvel right now. Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, Marcelo Melo. Unfortunately, Andrea Sorrentino did not do the artwork for this issue.
Felipe Andrade.
Haven't read it yet. Hopefully it's still awesome. How does it look?
It looks good. It's looking good. The art's
Yeah.
good. Art's solid.
For all the Winter Soldier fans out there, classic Thunderbolt fans, reprint of Thunderbolts #1 just came out. So if you haven't been following this series, Marvel's now giving you a chance to catch up. Also, 2 new trades from Marvel, Venom Space Knight, as well as what Vic was recommending, Vision. Volume 2. And I believe this is the Volume 1 is 1 through 6, I believe, and this is 7 through 10. Excuse me, 7 through 12, sorry. So this is the conclusion of Tom King's run. Tom King, of course, the writer, Michael Walsh, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, the artist, Jordi Belair, colorist. Once again, Tom King will be at Midtown Comics Downtown on December 8th, which is next Thursday from 6 to 8, signing Batman 12 and up to 2 other comics. So you could bring this, and you could bring Sheriff of Babylon. You could bring this and bring Batman #1, totally up to you. As we said before, new Old Man Logan. Look forward to reading this. So let's say you watched that Logan trailer, you really liked it, check out the current Old Man Logan run. There's of course a gazillion other comics I could recommend, but right now, that's the one I'm focused on. There's also a new Extraordinary X-Men. And speaking of the Logan trailer, this is the second of the complete collection for X-23. I believe this begins with the 2010 run, which includes Wolverine's son, Gambit. There he is, of course. I know that run was written by Marjorie Liu. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the art team, but this was Volume 1, which collects Innocence Lost, Target X, as well as a few other things. Innocence Lost is always my go-to recommendation. If you are interested in X-23, it's her origin story, and it is incredible. So read it, please. I just flip around here, as you can see. A lot of this is a team up with Gambit. Alright, I'll end it on that note. Read it. Also, collection of classic Alpha Flight. Alright. Then if you, let's say you're up to date with everything, you're a regular shopper, you come in every new comic book day, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter, but you pick up your comics weekly, and you want to know what's coming out in the future, previews. These will hook you up and tell you what's going on. This is a look at the stuff that's coming out in Marvel later on, Image Plus, which includes the origin of Negan, and then there's also more previews. As you can see, that's the new Justice League America run coming out. This is the roster that'll be on Steve Orlando, who's the writer, on his new series, which I believe debuts in February. got Adam, Lobo, Black Canary, Vixen, Ray, Batman, Killer Frost. Speaking of Killer Frost, there's a new Killer Frost statue on sale this week. We did an unboxing video for it yesterday. Leah showed off why you should check out the Bombshells edition of the Killer Frost statue. It's pretty cool. Sorry. Totally unintentional pun there. And also The Flash last night. Great crossover episode. A lot of fun. All right, so hope you enjoyed. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to end it just yet because V is right here. V has read a lot of Marvel stuff already this week.
I have.
So what is your go-to recommendation?
For this week, I would have to say Ghost Rider. I really, really enjoy Ghost Rider a lot. A few surprise appearances that I didn't really think had to be there, but overall,
I was surprised by the X-Men related character.
Yeah.
And I like that person, so.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but it's just for his own title, nothing happened, man. Nothing happened. For Robbie Reyes' title, I didn't think it was necessary. It was cool to include those characters.
Okay.
But, overall, solid book. Loved his origin story.
And there's a backup with Trad Moore.
Yeah. And in Humans vs. X-Men, the art in that book is...
That's Kenneth Rocafort, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. Like, it's probably... I want him to write X-Men from now on. I mean, to draw X-Men, I'm sorry.
That's all right. All right, cool. So, V, thank you very much for making your Marvel recommendations.
You got it.
All right.
I'm biased.
He's not paid by Marvel, we swear. All right, so thank you very much for watching our latest look at this week's new comic book day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy reading some new comics. Have a great week.